My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as EvilTwin2. You can find show notes on the blog, alknitwithyou.blogspot.com. Our group on Ravelry is under alknitwithyou, lots of spaces, or you can email me alknitwithyou@gmail.com. Hi, how are you guys? How are my owls and my yous? What is new with you guys? I have a truckload of stuff to tell you guys. I went to SSK, and I'm going to save all of that for the end of the podcast, so that if you don't want to hear about it, you can totally just turn it off, because I know how hard it is to listen about fiber events that you don't get to go to. Sometimes that's no fun. But if you do want to hear about it, you can just stay tuned, and you won't miss anything either way. I won't put any, surprise information at the end of the podcast that you need to know. So, but first, let's get to what's been going on with me besides all of that, because I have a truck list of things to tell you guys. The last podcast I did, I was super in a hurry, and I kind of forgot to tell you about my week, so I'm going to go back and fill in some of that stuff. So I've got lots of stuff. But first, let's talk about our new fronds. We have Lala, who is Laura from Mississippi, and we have Luann Knits, who is Luann from California. MacDonald CJ, who is Chris from Nova Scotia. So hello and welcome to our new fronds. If you're watching this podcast and you haven't introduced yourself in the introduction thread, please go do that. If you host a podcast, feel free to post about it in the Hey, I'm a Podcaster thread. If you get Hexy Puffs, we've got a Strut Your Puffs thread. Just go check out the group. There's lots of fun threads going on. Things that are coming up. The Sock-Along ends at the end of July. I will try and close the thread day of, but I will be on vacation, actually. And so that may or may not happen. So if you are able to post your socks after the end of July, it should be closed by the 3rd of August, no later than. Please only post socks that were finished in July, but maybe just weren't posted in time. I will try to have it closed, though, so no one... And if I see some that were not finished by the end of July that are posted, I probably won't count those, so just be aware. If it's open, that does not mean that it's still technically open. Upcoming events. We are coming up on the Spooky Swap. Once I get back from vacation at the beginning of August, I'll talk about it on the podcast so you know to look for it. And I will also post a thing where you can sign up for the Spooky Swap. There'll be a short questionnaire so that I can match you with someone who wants to trade like things. Because, you don't want to get mini skeins if you're not a mini skein person, or sock yarn if you're not a sock yarn person. So I'll try and connect people with who they want to split with. So we'll work it out. We'll make it work, you guys. That way, if you don't feel comfortable shipping outside your country, you don't have to. We'll see how close we can get everything worked out. That is kind of like August through October, because we're going to get the sign-ups done as soon as possible. And then that way you guys can start collecting items for your boxes and then ship them out. So they'll hopefully be there before Halloween. That's the only deadline, is before Halloween, really. And even then, stuff gets lost in the mail. So, we'll figure it out. And then after that, the next upcoming event that I've planned is December 15th and 16th, Your Ugliest Knit Day. Well, you will wear your ugliest knitwear in public, take a selfie, and you can maybe win a prize. So we'll get there. But December's kind of far away. Other than that, blather. I made a bunch. I've shown you guys my notebook that I made before, my ARC notebook. I made a bunch of updates to it. So I had a homemade front that I had sort of covered in tape so that it would be packing tape, so it would be protected. What's it called when they surround something in plastic? I'm sure you're shouting it at me and I can't hear you. Laminate. I kind of fake laminate with packing tape, but it was getting really grungy looking, so I went out and bought these clear front cover things. Kind of got a haze to them to blur stuff out, right? But they only had them for the full sheet, so I cut them in half and I made them the size for my notebook, because my notebook is about a half sheet size. And I printed new covers, so I've got one for the front and the back. So this is and I did not create either one of these, and since I'm not selling them, I don't really have problems stealing some artwork, although I'm sure it's not very kosher. This is a play on my friend Totoro with Adventure Time. And this is a panel, This is a panel from Hawkeye, My Life as a Weapon. Coffee, no. He spilled his coffee. Hawkeye loves coffee. So that's kind of nice. It's I've got some new tabs that are thick black tabs. They're very thick. But it also helps separate my notebook pretty evenly. I went through, and even though I had designed a bunch of notebook pages, I find that I really just like blank paper, because then I can do whatever I need to do on it and space stuff out how I like it. So I've made the switch to just plain blank paper after all that work. I'm still using my month-to-month stuff, so if you haven't seen those before, that's set up like this, where it looks like there's coffee stains all over it, and instead of a box month where it's like this and there's boxes for the months, I do lined months. So that's all the days of the month in a row. As you can see, I have nothing planned for November right now. But that's okay, we'll get there. So one of the reasons that I was super exhausted last time I talked to you guys on the podcast is we had been struck by some viruses at work. And as part of the IT team, I was part of the help in getting that all tackled. And it was just completely taxing on my brain. I was kind of just dead. So pretty much knit only things that were knit and knit. No, that's not even true. I did some work on my Hito-finished. So, but for the most part, I was pretty brain dead, if you couldn't tell. Other things that I've been up to, I went and saw a couple movies. I saw the new Terminator. Now, I've only ever seen the first Terminator, but having only seen that one and seeing it within the last couple weeks, the new Terminator made perfect sense. It was amazing. It was wonderful. I would go see it again. But instead, I went and saw the new Ant-Man movie, which was much better than I expected it to be. So 2 big wins on the movie front for reboots and for new stuff coming out. Other things that I'm blowing through these. I'm sorry. Other things that I've been up to is I released a pattern. Now, it's not a very big pattern, and it's a completely free pattern. Oh, shoot, I meant to have it over here, and I think I have moved it. Oh, no, here it is. So back... Oh, I haven't even tucked this in yet. Way back, I think around Christmas time, I knit this really simple little cowl. It's just ribbing and some seed stitch. It's cozy. I'll give it that. Oh, look, it's kind of a hat. But it's not a hat. It's just a cute little tight cowl. And I wanted like a small cowl because I just wanted to snuggle up in it. Like, I don't want to have to worry about it being droopy and stuff. So this is a free pattern now on Ravelry. I guess I'm a designer. But it's simple and it's a really quick Christmas present. So if you just want the turtleneck without the shirt, kind of what's going on, you could fold it if you wanted to. Because, you know, seed stitch looks good front and back. It's more like a neck warmer, which you knit. So that is a thing that has happened in recent days. My ends are not woven in on that because I am lazy. But that's okay. I went to a My Favorite Things party for my church small group. And how that works is there's lots of games that we play, like my favorite song, my favorite book, and you have to figure out whose is which. And then we were also supposed to take 3 gifts that are our favorite things. They're about $7. So I did the $2 reusable cups you can get from Starbucks that are plastic. And I knit some little coffee sleeves for them, and I gave them $5 gift cards. So there was a little bit over $7 with the cost of the knitwear, but I figured that's okay. It's personal labor. But then I forgot to take pictures of all the cups in their stylish new coffee sleeves. So that was kind of... I gave them away and immediately realized I had not photographed any of them, which means I couldn't turn them into the house cup, which means all the work that I did on them, even though the people appreciated them, I'm sure, was lost for me points-wise. So that's a little frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. One of the things I took with me to SSK is some podcaster cards so that I could spread the word about my glorious podcast. I had 3 main designs. So I'm going to hold them up and show them to you. And I'll probably be chucking these in all the giveaways that I do from now on if they're not digital. So I made a wraps per inch tool. I made a Kitchener stitch guide. So you could just quickly do it without having to think about it. And I didn't hand as many of these out, but this is the things that I want to knit that I've seen at SSK card. So you kind of keep track of things that you wanted to knit. But on top of being fun to hand out, they were a really good icebreaker because I could go and be like, hey, do you guys knit socks? Do you spin? And everyone would be like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I've got some cards for you. And they'd be like, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, awesome, my podcast is on their side. So I don't know if any of you are new and watching this because of that card. But if you are, tell me in the introduction started because I'm really curious if it actually worked. But if not, that's totally cool. They were fun to make, and it's fun to hand out things that are helpful to other knitters because then you feel like you're sharing some stuff. There's a bug on my floor. Sorry, I'm distracted. I think that is all the blather I have for the moment. That is a lot of blather, y'all. I have all sorts of stuff to show you though, so get excited. I'm gonna dig it out. I've been spinning up a storm. For the beginning of Tour de Fleece, I just needed a quick kickoff. So I had been spinning this on my Turkish spindle. I haven't actually spun anything new for Tour de Fleece yet, or not finished anything. So I spun this up on my Turkish for the most part. It is a 1 ounce bump from Hello Pearl. I think it turned out really, really nice. It's got teals and purples and golds in it. This stuff down here, that's just ties, so ignore the lumpiness. But, yeah, it's just a cute little mini skein. I don't know what. I'll probably just do like hexie puffs and blanket squares with it. But I really like how it turned out. I also spun up some of the stuff I got from Maria Samria. This is something that was one half of it was pink and the other half was white, and then I applied it together. So it has this overall pink look to it, but it's actually, if you look really closely, pink and white. So there you can see the individual plies all up next to each other. And for the most part, it's a pretty nice fingering weight size. But I did have a few chunkier parts in there where, yeah, you can see that one is really chunky right there. For the most part, it's nice and thin. So I really like how this turned out. It turned out really nicely. I'm also working on another spin that is purple, but I did not bring it in here with me because I'm hard at work on it. Hopefully I can show that to you guys very, very soon. It is another one from Maria. So I'm digging into that box of stuff to spin for her, and I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know why it took me so long to get started on it, but now that I'm in it, I just want to keep going. Plus, I have a few more days left in Tour de Fleece, so if I can really get going, I can work on that. I don't play for any official teams, but I have fun playing for the Supernaturals yarn stuff, so that's always a good time. Alright, next I have some woes and some woes. So my first woe is a sock, and I'm using some leftover blue that I had from my Rusamine socks, and this yarn that I got at Stitches South. It is Electric Butterfly by Cannon Hand Dyes. And look at that. So this is a self-striping yarn, and there's black and then these like electric butterfly colors, right? The teal is the other color, and it is not a sparkle base, but it is very thick and like hard wearing, whereas this is just a little bit thinner fingering weight. But I think it's turning out really, really nicely. So I'll be knitting, another reason I'm doing the toes, and I will be also doing the heels and possibly the cuffs in teal, is because I'm making a pair for me and a pair for my sister-in-law. And I want them to match, except hers will be all of the yarn, and mine will have the blue bits in it, the teal bits in it. So her socks will be the solid, just this yarn. But I know I'll run out if I do both of our socks that way, so mine will have the blue tips, heels, and cuffs. But that's okay, because then we can tell them apart if we're together. Like, oh, is that your sock? Is that my sock? Blue ones are mine. My feet are just slightly longer than hers, but she actually tried on a pair of socks that you'll see in my FOs that fit her really well, that were my size. So that's very, very helpful. And that's just a vanilla sock. That's not anything exciting. I've also been working on my, I always want to say this weird, Lucente. This is for my mom. It's kind of like a knitted t-shirt. It looks pretty much the same as the last time I showed you it, but it's just longer. It's a very mesh-like fabric. So, not very far, but farther than it was. And you can see at the bottom if it's darker, this is actually a gradient cake. So, it's pink on the outside and then white on the inside. And I want to have this done before we all go on vacation, which is next week. Or get it done while we're there, so she can see how long it takes, because I don't think she has any concept, but that's okay. And now for my mighty, mighty, mighty list of FOs. First off, I finished a pair of collywobbles. This is from the sock blank that you probably just saw that I dyed. Here's what's left of it, just about half. This will probably not be another pair of socks. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of yarn. So I haven't actually waited to figure out if it is half or more than half. But But I kind of want to do like blanket squares with it and stuff like that, but it's a lot. So maybe, I don't know, it's just a lot of yarn. I gotta think about it. But for now, Collywobbles. If you don't know, that is a pattern by the Chain of Fools, who does the Fibertown podcast. I love how the colors turned out for this. I wasn't sure how they would knit from the sock blank, and there's even like browns and stuff in there, and I feel like it works. You're seeing a lot of teal, but there's green here. I don't know why that's showing up so teal. Far away. But I actually wore these socks today and then put them on the sock blockers. And they're very comfortable. I like the way the yarn feels on my feet. So, one pair of socks, done. I haven't submitted anything to Harry Potter classes this month. I've been like slacking hardcore. I've done a lot of stuff. I just haven't turned it in. I don't even know why. I just need to do that. But one thing I definitely did turn in was for Quidditch round 3, where you had to knit at least 350 yards. Did I surpass that? Oh boy, did I surpass that. I'm going to have to zoom out so you can see this, and you're going to see the mess around me. So I'm surrounded by boxes right now, so I can show you guys all the stuff. But I finished my Hito-finished in the gradient, and it turned out fantastically. And I've got a story to tell you about it and everything. It looks really stripy on the camera, but it doesn't look that stripy in person, ironically. The sleeves are a little snug. I should have done one more lace repeat, but they also aren't dangly, so it's kind of okay. But I love the way it turned out. It fits really great. It's totally long enough. If you want to see pictures of me wearing it, go to my Ravelry project page. I did increases all the way across the back so that it would cover, as the knit girls say, the back 40 really well. I didn't want to have to worry about it being snug in the front. And also some of them hang kind of funny in the front, so I made mine longer so it wouldn't do that either. But it's quite the hit. I've worn it a couple times. I really like it. Just overall, a fantastic pattern, very quick knit for me. I got it done, started July 17th, and I finished, started June 17th, and I finished July 7th. So, bam, Hito-finished. I used 1,230 yards, but that's after I held it double, so really I used whatever that number is, double. Most of it is out of the Malabrigo Silkpaca, although there is some of it that's out of their wool. But overall, super awesome. I like it very much. It's very soft. It has a wonderful drape because of the Silkpaca. I also finished my super secret project, which I can now show you because the pattern is out. This is the, I want to say it's the cobblestone cowl, but if I have that wrong, it's on your screen. I knit mine out of some, I think this is Vanna's Choice in an Aran weight. But it's just a nice big comfy cowl that you can just wear. Look at it. It's so comfy. I don't know if this green is my color, but I know this green will look really nice with my winter coat. So that's why I picked it. But there's all these fun little ridges in here. So pretty. Can you see them? I like the way it turned out. I like it very much. It's very big and fluffy. And I dyed yarn to make another one, but I don't know if I'm going to knit that right away or not. We'll see how it goes. Ta-da! Being attacked by stuff. So those are my FOs. I also finished a 2-color hat because I did that as part of a class at SSK. But I also turned it in at SSK because it was a little too small for me, and you can turn in hats for charity there. So that is one of the things that I did. I thought, you know, why keep a hat that doesn't fit me when I can turn it in for charity and tickets, which we'll talk about. We'll get there. Now, I do have some mustache. I have lots of stuff that I bought at the market at SSK, but I am going to show you the stuff that I bought at the local yarn shops as my mustache, and the rest of it as part of the SSK stuff. So this is just the local yarn shop stuff. There'll be a little bit of crinkling, and I'm sorry. Sorry about that. We went to Bliss Yarns, which is a local yarn shop. It is the smaller one of the two. And there I bought some Lang Jaw wool. Look at these colors. Isn't that really, really fun? Doesn't that look like the socks that I just knit? Now, what's special about this yarn is that it comes with reinforcement. I guess that's thread, really. So what I'll do is I'll hold this double with this yarn as I knit the heels, maybe the toes, whichever parts need reinforcement. And I just thought that was a really cool idea. So it should be the same colorways pretty much. I should be able to match those up, I believe. But this was just stuck in this part of the skein. Look at it, right? And so, I don't know, I just thought the whole idea was really clever. And I saw someone else had bought this, so I picked some up too. This color is just 902.0039. So, but I really, really like it. So, that's what matters. We also went to House of Yarn, who does their bags, very interestingly, like waterproof bags to go. / potential project bags in a pinch. I bought stuff out of their clearance bin there, but I found really wonderful things. This is Pagewood Farm hand-dyed sock yarn. This is the Fruit Freeze. It's a 3-ply, 100% merino superwash. Now, this probably won't be socks. This will probably be some sort of shawl or something. But look at that red. It's really pretty. That's a little bit tonal. So I'm really excited about that. I also bought this black squishy super soft yarn. It is Simply Worsted by Haiku. It is 55% merino superwash, 28% acrylic, 17% nylon, 140 yards. And I just got this to make a hat with. Just thought a nice black hat. You know, it's very, very soft and squishy. That's why I got it. I've also really enjoyed getting the short cable needles. So I think these are just 9 inches. A lot like the ones you get for socks, but you can get them for hats too. So this is the size 9 needles. Oh, it's a 12-inch cable, sorry. For the hats. But I really like these. And I had a problem when I knit my 2-color hat on worsted using a size 7 that it was just way too tight. And I have a size 8, so I went ahead and bought a size 9 as well, in case if I do color work that's just too tight. So now I have a great little hat cable needle. I want to slowly build my collection of those. I would like to have one in most every size because they're also really handy for sleeves. They just make sleeves fly off your needles. But I also have knit my sleeves 2 at a time, so I don't know. One or the other. That is what I must stash. Oh, Bliss gave out these little stitch markers for anyone who came to their shop from SSK and had brought a thing with them. House of Yarn put a stitch marker on their business card that they gave to you at SSK. So they each gave stitch markers in their own special way. Sorry, I'm seeing if there's anything else in the bag. It's a receipt. We're okay. As far as the house cup goes, I did my Hito-finished for Quidditch. Got that done in. The term is kind of wrapping up, and with all the different stuff that I'm on, I'm trying to keep up with all the stuff wrapping up. Between Marauders missions and Chocolate Frog cards and everything. I just feel like I'm being pulled a billion different ways. So I'm just trying to work on a little bit of everything every day, and it should be alright. Plus I've been out of town, and I'm going back into town. But I've also told everyone that, so it's not like it's a surprise. So hopefully everything ends up okay. And now I'm going to switch over to SSK. You're not going to miss anything if you leave, but if you want to stay, that's cool too. I have a lot to talk about. So pull up a chair, because I'm going to adjust. And we will talk about SSK. My hair is driving me crazy. So, SSK, wow, it was a super duper blast. It was incredible fun, and I want to go back every year if possible. Probably not possible, but I would love to go back every year. So, I was at work Wednesday morning, because I worked for a little while, because I only live 3 hours from Nashville. I was at work, and I was watching the Knit Girls podcast, and on the itinerary it had said the welcome starts at 7:30. Well, the check-in starts at 3, and so I was watching their podcast at about 11 o'clock, and by the time they said it opens at 3, I was like, what? Because I had planned on leaving like later that day, and so I ended up leaving around noon, about an hour later, and then drove straight there. Luckily, I'd already packed my car, and I was ready to go. So when you walk in and you register, I got one of these bags. It's got SSK, they've got all sorts of stuff all over it. And it says on there, Super Summer Knit Together, Nashville 2015. And that's on both sides, and one of them has coffee on it. And this bag is just filled with stuff. All sorts of, there's crinkly stuff in here, and I'm sorry. All sorts of cards and business cards and coupon codes and discount things. And just like all sorts of amazing, amazing stuff. There was candy in there and all sorts of things. I also got a name badge Rebecca, evil twin too. And I walked up to get my stuff, and Lala, who is Laura, says, "Oh, that's Rebecca. She's evil twin too. She hosts the I'll Knit With You podcast, and she plays for the House Cup." And, like, immediately, I just felt, like, welcomed in, like, you are part of the group. But before that, I was standing in line, and they were bringing you bags if you tell them your name. And then you would check in, like, once, so that way you had time to look through it and stuff like that. And I was sitting there in line, and I was so intimidated. I had just arrived. And this woman walks up to me, and her Ravelry name is Big D. And she's the sweetest person ever. And if you're watching, you are the sweetest person ever. Because immediately she made me feel like I totally belonged, and that I wasn't out of place, and I wasn't lost, and I wouldn't be without friends all weekend. Because, if you go to a big event, people kind of group up, and if you get there too late, you don't know. And so, but she totally made me feel like I fit in. Oh, this is also the SSK shirt for this year. It says, "Gauge before rage." So that is awesome. So she was awesome, the shirts are awesome. And we started doing bingo, which I accidentally kept my card. I did not turn my card in. But it's kind of just like find people who fit these things to break the ice. So we started doing that immediately. It was really fun. And then we got our stuff, and we went and sat down, and we found more bingo people. And then we had the welcome ceremony. And in the welcome, they do some giveaways. So if you had done knit-alongs beforehand, you got tickets to use. And you could put those tickets to win different raffle prizes. And so I won this awesome project bag. So if you watch the Knit Girls podcast, you might have seen this displayed. It looks like those old viewfinder things all over it. And it's super stinking cute. It has this awesome, like, zipper pull on it. I won this, and this is by Bird Leg Bags, if you'd like one yourself. This is my first box style bag, and it is completely amazing. I need this only forever from now on, because it's perfect. It's perfect forever. I also won a Poke Me Not. This is the one that Janby Smiley does. She is on Etsy. So if you don't know, it's a little tube, and then this side has a slit in it, so you can put your needles in, and it'll keep you from poking out the sides of your project bag, which is perfect with my new project bag. Like, it was the best. So that was an excellent way to start off, was winning 2 prizes. Are you kidding me? I felt like the luckiest person ever. So that was amazing. So let me show you some of the stuff that came in our goodie bags. There was lots of good stuff, but I'll show you the highlights. We got a sock ruler, which is really exciting because it helps you figure out what size sock you need to make for different sizes of feet. We got a keychain card, or keychain full of cards, full of coupon codes and all sorts of good stuff. So that's really, really exciting. We got some Acreworks bobbins buttons that say SSK. So I'm going to need to knit me a sweater so I can wear this next year with my SSK buttons. We got some Lolo Bar, a little sample of that, and a chapstick, which I have both run out of my bag because I've been using them so much. We got a Knit Girls tape measure, and I'm really excited about this, although I don't really know how it works. This is some Tuft sock. It is sock soap. I've heard you just lather it in your hands and let that run into the water and then wash your socks in the water. There's information on the back, which I haven't read yet, but I will. And this is Blueberry Lemonade. It was a special scent for SSK. It kind of smells like heaven, so I need all of my feet to smell like that for the rest of my life, which hopefully they will. We also got a finger counter to keep track of rows, which I have one of these and I've misplaced it, and it's amazing. I'm just checking stuff everywhere. And we also got a few free patterns, so that's really awesome. You can't see the free patterns from this side of things. So that's really cool, and I'm really excited about those. But I was we also got some care instruction cards from Daisy Knits, so that's really awesome. I mean, there was just like so much stuff in there. It was completely overwhelming. This does not have my yarn in it that came in my bag, because I have moved that to another bag. But you will see it I think it's in my market bag. Oh yeah, we'll get there. So the whole first day was just incredible, and I walked with some of the girls up to a local taco place and got tacos there, and it's a place where you fill out, there's these printed out menus you see before you even walk all the way to the cash register, and you fill out what you want, and then you just hand that to the cash register, and before you even get to where you're supposed to pick up your tacos, your order is done, and it's fresh, and it's hot, and it's so good. They have the best queso there. And it's San Antonio Taco Company, and if you go to Nashville, go eat there. It's not very expensive, and it's very delicious. I think I ate there every night except for one, which I'm totally fine with. I would go back and eat there right now if I could. The second day, in the morning I went to breakfast, because breakfast and lunch are provided, and I did Starbucks, and then I had my 2-color knitting class, which was awesome. Oh, I just had the pattern for that. Where did I put it? It's in this bag. Okay, so we made some awesome hats. Mary Jane Mucklestone is the one who did our class. She's so stinking smart. And it was really awesome to learn 2-color knitting from her and see examples and understand it better. Like, Fair Isle only ever has 2 colors at a time. Like, maybe there's multiple colors in the pattern, but you only do 2 colors in one row. And those are knit circular. Whereas, stranded color work is completely different. So we did Fair Isle type stuff. But it's not specifically Fair Isle, because for it to be Fair Isle, you have to knit Shetland wool from Shetland sheep from the Isle of Shetland. Now I know. And I was showing someone how to hold 2 yarns in your left hand, which is how I hold mine. I'm not a thrower, I'm a picker. So if you're a picker and you use both colors in your left hand. And I was describing it, and she turned around and she was like, that's exactly how I described that to someone else. She was like, you're our other teacher. And so that was really, really cool. She didn't mean it. I was not obviously teaching the class, but I did help out a couple people in my row with stuff, which was really awesome for it to be my first year, and then feel like I was like super included. So that was really cool. That night, my friend Bree came to visit. She's in Nashville for the summer, and so we went and got sushi and just hung out and talked and drank some Starbucks for a while, because there's a Starbucks within walking distance, so I had a lot of coffee. Which was a great way to kind of conclude that part of the day. And then we had the tasting room where you got to try different tools and stuff like that. And I learned I'm not a big fan of the mini spinners. Maybe they'd be great for playing with them, not very fun to spin on. And maybe that was just me. And also other people had been tinkering with it and messing with the settings. But I did try out some really, really fun wheels, so that was pretty exciting. The next day was more of a chill day for me. I only had one class on Thursday, and there weren't any classes for me on Friday that I was taking, so I ended up doing a lot of yarn shopping that day. That's when I went to Bliss and House of Yarns, but I'm so glad I had that day off, because if I hadn't, I don't know when I would have done that. So I don't know if I will take more classes if I ever go back. One class seemed to work really, really well for me, because it gave me lots of time to socialize, which was really nice, which was what I want. Like, it's great to learn things, but I really enjoyed the socialization part of it. It was like being in Ravelry, but in person. So I had tacos again that night, and after shopping, I played some games, some card games that I had brought with me, Love Letter and Pina Pirata, which is fun. So those are both recommended by the Engineer's Falcon, who is Fiber and Dice, is her podcast. Her name is also Rebecca, and she's a sweetheart. So, after that okay. So, back it up a little bit. First day of classes. I wore my Hito-finished, and literally all day, people were stopping me and asking me to look at it and asking me questions about it and wanting to try it on, and I got, like, crazy reception for my Hito-finished. Like, everyone freaking loved it, and it blew my mind. I mean, everyone there is wearing knitwear, and lots of people have knit the Hito-finished, so then for people to look at mine and go, oh, wow, I really like your Hito-finished, like, it was the sweetest thing that's ever happened. And so people kept encouraging me to enter it into the try-it-on room. So I did, and a lot of people tried it on in the try-it-on room as well. And there's even pictures where someone was trying it on in the background, and someone in the Instagram comments would ask whose Hito-finished that was. And that was really cool. And so I just felt, I don't know, really supported by the knitting community, and my Hito-finished was so well received and loved. And I didn't make it for the try-on room, but I ended up putting it in there, and I'm really glad I did. So it was really cool. Tried-on room was a blast. I tried on sleeves, which is a pattern by Martina Bim. I'm wanting to knit it, but I wasn't sure how it would look on me, if it would work on me. I wasn't really sure. But after the try-on room, I was like, yep, I am going to make this for sure. I need 100 of these. Well, at least one, because it seems like something I would really enjoy. So I'm excited to knit that in the future. But that night, I had to go to bed a little bit earlier because the next day was market day, which was basically SSK Christmas that you pay for yourself. So, market day feels a lot like Black Friday. The market for us opened at 10. I thought it opened at 9. I got there really early and I missed breakfast because of it, but it really opened at 10. And everyone got in line, and then to walk into a freshly packed market was really, really cool. And I darted for, I'm going to show you. Okay, so they handed us these bags as we were walking in, and they're actually 2015 Super Summer Knit Together SSK Nashville bags. Right? How cool is that? So we got bags just for this event, just for us going to shop there. So, I bolted to the leading, well, I cannot focus. I bolted to the Leading Fiberman, booth so I could buy some of their showcase. This is the glacial colorway. Ooh, ah. And if you bought this, you got a free pattern by Paula Edmonds Feasley called Wild Goose Shawlette that was, I don't know if it's released yet or it was going to be released, but either way, they were handing out 25 free ones at the Dramatic Knits booth. Now, you might notice mine has some stuff up here because Paula was at the retreat, so I had her sign my pattern. Is that super dorky? Or is that just like knitting perfect? But there it is. She signed my pattern and she was super, super sweet about it. It says, Happy Knitting, Rebecca, Paula Edmonds Feasley. So, you guys. And so when I showed her the pattern, I obviously bought everything already. And she was like, oh, are you using this yarn to make it? And I'm like, no, this is the yarn I bought. She goes, ooh, that'd be really pretty. And so I'm like, I about died right there, but I didn't, thank goodness. I lived to tell the tale to all of you. Beck is Laura's sister, and she does graphic design, so I bought this Bahrain University shirt. And the Latin, Veritas et Velis, means truth and wool or truth and fiber. So that is kind of awesome. A lot of people ended up buying that shirt, and I was like, it's kind of like our other SSK shirt. I love it. Oh, so I had set aside some of the yarn that had come in my goodie bag. So let me show that to you really fast since it's in my market bag for some reason. We got Hazel Knits Lively DK in the Alexandrite, which is originally created for the Knit Girls SSK 2015. So this is the 2015 Hazel Knit colorway. And it's purple, and it's got some like dark greens in it, like almost tealy greens. Really pretty. And we also got just a little ball of fingering yarn sampler, 80% baby alpaca, 20% bamboo, 2-ply, 60 yards. Yeah, fingering weight. So this is the Northern Lights Fiber Company, and it's just this beautiful purple. And purple was kind of my color this year, so I loved it extra. We also got another little itty bitty sample. This is Turtle Polo Yarns in the Superman colorway. And here is that. Just a little bitty mini skein. It's really exciting. So that was those three things were in my my bag when I got there. I did not buy these at market. But here's some more. So I bought the Dramatic Knit stuff, and then I went. Where did I go next? I bought some stuff from Beck. I went to the mustache booth, but I went a little bit later after it had cleared out, so that wasn't next. It doesn't matter what order I bought stuff in. I bought some of the Perfect Self-Striping Sock in the OCD, 2 skeins matched, 2 perfectly matched half skeins twisted together. So this is 2 skeins right here. It looks like 1. I did not realize that was 2. I'm gonna undo this because I really want to see how this looks. This is the Dark Side number 4. Oh, I see. Okay, so see there's one skein there and the other skein there. So clever. So these are perfectly matched skeins. You guys, I'm super excited about this yarn. I shouldn't be, but I totally am. I've never owned any mustache yarn. I feel like her stuff's really hard to get a hold of. But this Dark Side number 4 has thick black and gray stripes, and then little bitty rainbow stripes. I cannot skein as well as she can, but that's okay. It's gonna sit right here. I bought some yarn from another crafty girl, and this is in the Haunted House colorway. I may have purchased some yarn that could be for a future swap if I don't get different yarn, but this one I think will be mine because it does not self-stripe. So it's very purpley and pumpkin-y, and I love it. I really like those colors. I bought some yarn from the Cyborg's craft room. All of her yarn was so perfect. I went in and out of there probably 4 times before I picked this yarn. This is on her a sparklate base, like Exterminate a Sparklate. And this is the Wildflower colorway. Look at that. Look at all that. Look at all those colors. Those are going to be some beautiful socks or a beautiful shawl. It just needs to be everything. But I think all of her stuff was so pretty I couldn't pick just one thing, but eventually I did. I got some Jinx yarn. This is the House Cup colorway. It is self-striping. It will stripe, and she tells you how it's going to stripe up, which is really cool. The striping pattern is 3 rose blue, 3 rose bronze, 3 rose green, 3 rose light gray, 3 rose yellow, 3 rose black, 3 rose deep red, and 3 rose golden yellow. Stripe pattern estimate based on a sock knit on size US 1 needles with 60 stitches around. And this is her power self-striping in the 75% superwash BFL, 25% nylon. And it looks kind of like a hot mess in the skein, but knitted up, she had a sample. It looks perfect. So I'm very excited for this yarn. I also bought her Gym Socks colorway, which is an orange and gray. A little bit Halloween. 7 rose gray, 7 rose orange. But very, very pretty colors of orange and gray. I also bought a mini skein bundle. This is from Sun Valley Fibers. This is 400 yards per skein. And there's 8 of them. Wait. 400 yards total, I think. 50 yards per skein. 8 skeins. So I need to double check. I'm not sure how much I need to make sleeves by Martina Bim, but this will probably be part of it. Look at that. Look at those colors. Aren't they just fun together? And of course I tell you all the different colors on the bottom here. So if you need to know any of these for some reason, like if you just need that teal right there, that teal is called Bare Feet. So, you know. But this is an MCN. So it's very squishy and soft. But also be really nice up against your neck because of the cashmere. MCN is merino cashmere nylon, if you don't know. I also got a couple of mini skeins from Mustache. So I got, this doesn't tell me the colorway, unfortunately, but this is 15 grams. Oh wait, what's this? Is this colorway? No, 65 yards is all it says. And this one as well. This is on her Ritz sock. But it doesn't say, no, it doesn't say which one it is. She had just talked about this yarn on her podcast pretty recently. It's about 2 goldfish who are in the same bowl that never meet. And I didn't want the whole sock because I like the colorway, but I wanted a small version of it, like a hexie puff or a blanket square or something tiny. So I really wanted it in something small. But yeah. So this is all the yarn that I bought. Oops. Yep. That's my yarn. But I also bought some fibers. Let me put this all back in the bag so it doesn't get lost. I've been waiting to cake all of this up until I can show you guys, so you should feel really loved right now. Fiber. So I bought some Shetland from the Ross farm. They do this cute thing where they stick a little tuft out, and when you touch it, you're like, I need to spin some of that actually. So I'm really excited about this. It's a nice little fluffy bump. I bought some stuff from Gail's Art, and I wish I would have bought some of her sock blanks, but I didn't, because I kind of have a lot of sock blanks going on. You don't even know, you guys. I've got the one that I just knit off of, another one to knit off of, and then I'll tell you. This is Baltic. There's 4 ounces of it. Look how pretty. It's so pretty. I like it very much. And then I also just got, this is also 4 ounces of blue face wool. It's just naked. It's undyed. I would love to spin this up and knit with it and then dye it, because we do another dye day coming up pretty soon in our fabric group. I think we said September, October. So I didn't get a lot of fiber because I've been going to fiber festivals and I have all this stuff to spin for Maria that I would love to get done first. So I didn't want to emphasize that too much and then overwhelm myself, because I've got a whole box full of fiber up there that just is ready to spin. So I didn't need to overwhelm myself with more things that are ready to spin. So then after I went in the market and I bought a couple things. I left the market. And I went in the market and I bought a couple things. And I left the market and I went to lunch. And I came back and I went to market and I bought a couple things. And so like I kept kind of going back and forth. I probably went 5 or 6 times. The last time I went right before market closed, because I had seen Amy Beth walking around, and every time she walks around, like, people just want to talk to her because she's so, you know, effervescent. And I didn't want to be like super groupie, and so I waited till the end of market when I knew things would be like pretty much cleared out, and I went and I just talked to her for a few minutes then, and it was really cool, and I'm glad I did that. So it was kind of weird being around podcasters in person. Like, I know I podcast, but I'm not like a big podcaster. I talked to Steve of Dramatic Knits a couple times, like very briefly, and just little things. Like, I really wanted to talk to Karen from Around the Twist, but she was always just completely surrounded. I talked to Paula, who does Knitting Pipeline. Obviously, Laura and Leslie. I talked to them a few times. I talked to Hanala from the Traveling Sock Knitter. We actually played games together. But I didn't mention that I watched her podcast because I didn't want to be creepy. So it's just weird stuff like that. Like, that doesn't make any sense, Rebecca, but yet that is what I did. Because you don't want to seem like you're fangirling. And so, but it was really cool to talk to Amy Beth, like, at the end of the market day to kind of close out my SSK experience. But it wasn't over yet. I went to tacos one more time. I ate tacos 3 nights. And it was every time worth it. Completely worth it. We did a farewell, like, they did the welcoming ceremonies, we did farewell ceremonies, where there were more prizes, and so I won. I had almost bought this like 6 times, you guys. This is the Potomac Double Knit Sock Blank in the SSK exclusive colorway, Berry Special Friends, and you can see on the end all the different colors, but I'm going to unroll it, and I haven't unrolled it yet, you guys, but I wanted to unroll it for you. So pretty. So that is 2 strands held together. Ta-da. Which means it's ready to go. But look at it. Oh my gosh, you guys. Very special friends. It smells good. Oh my gosh, you can stand outside the market because I said it the day before, and you can just smell the vinegar. Like, it's so amazing. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards. So, you can see there's like splashes of a brighter pink over here. Oh man. I wanted one of these so bad, and then I saw there were a bunch in the raffle, and I put like half my raffle tickets in the bag. I freaked out when I got it. It was the one thing that I really, really, really wanted and totally got from the raffle. I mean, from the second night, because I also really wanted this bag, and I got the bag, and I flipped out. I flipped out, y'all. This is not going to go back on there, I don't think. No, maybe. Hold on. Let me do this really quick. It's not near as pretty, but it's on there. It still counts. I also want a kit. This is going to be very crinkly, and so I'm going to try and mute it and hold it really still while I'm talking about it. So this is a hand spun kit by Infinite Twist. It's to make the DWBU cowl, which I looked up. And it's in my queue, the top of my queue, but I will put a link in the show notes if you want to know what the DWBU cowl is. It's like double wide, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But if you search DWBU cowl, it comes up. And this would make it. So it's 2 balls of dark black and then 3 balls of green. It's hand spun. It is really nice hand spun, you guys. I've never knit with someone else's hand spun except for one skein that I got from Fibertown. So knitting a whole cowl out of it looks like a lot of fun. This kind of matches my Acreworks buttons. So maybe that'll be for the cowl. That'd be kind of cool. So then it's more use than a sweater. Oh, so creepy and loud. But those are the 2 things that I won the second night. So yarn and then tools, which is okay with me. That's most of the stuff that I got. If you have questions about anything, let me know. I would be happy to talk about it. I made so many friends. I made too many friends to talk about. We've all added each other on Ravelry, and they're amazing. One of them, her name is Cajun Princess, has an Etsy shop, and I think it's Cajun Knit Girls. It's right here. She does self-striping socks, and they are incredible. I can't wait until I have recovered from market so I can buy some of her yarn because they are perfect. And if the rest of you guys who I met at SSK have shops, please PM me because I might not have realized. She just mentioned it a couple times, and I looked at her shop once I got home, and it's awesome. SSK was a blast. I left feeling really rejuvenated and just kind of excited for knitting more than I was, which is saying something because I was pretty excited for knitting when I left. But just being around knitters like 24/7 for that whole like week-ish was perfect. That could not have gone any better. I mean, really. From the minute that I walked there, I felt so welcomed. And the minute that I left, I felt so sad to leave all my new knitting friends. It was just really, really awesome, and there's no experience like it. It is really like Ravelry in person with like all of the nicest people. I never had a single argument. I never felt shafted. I mean, the entire time I just felt like loved on and embraced by the knitting community, and it was incredible. And if you ever get a chance to go, absolutely go. I know I'm putting my name in for the lottery, and if you do too, I mean, if you get a spot and I don't, I'd be happy for you to experience it. So, that being said, oh, my nose is itchy. I'm so sorry. That being said, whether you're on your own knit venture or you're sitting at home watching my podcast, I'll knit with you. Bye, guys.